welcome to the eighth episode of All Cards on Deck. I am Oля. I'm the host of these little LinkedIn series where I sit down with different guests who have absolutely different backgrounds, but they all have something in common. And what is that? They live their lives on purpose. So I sat down with these guests and I usually ask them the same questions around the topic of purpose, which is who are you? What is your purpose? How did you find it? What challenges did you face along the way? And afterwards, the second part of these lives has a little twist. I pull three cards from this card deck, which is called We're Not Really Strangers. And these cards have random personal questions. Some of them are pretty deep. And this is how we're bringing a bit of fun and playfulness into these lives and into quite a serious topic as purpose. And today I have a very special guest. Her name is Sherry. She's someone I know for a while on LinkedIn, and she's someone who spreads so much love and so much joy across LinkedIn. She's also someone who has gotten her master's degree in analytical chemistry and afterwards decided to, can you imagine, drop it all to follow her gut, to follow her inner voice. And now she's a co-founder of a company called Uniquirk, where she helps founders, entrepreneurs with their LinkedIn strategy, with their branding, with their PR. So, welcome, Sherry. I'm super excited to have this conversation with you.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Finally, we get to meet and have this conversation. So, I'm already excited and looking forward to having a wonderful conversation with you.
Same here. Thank you, Sherry. So, let's dive in. The first question is, who are you?
So, I think you did a pretty good job of introducing me. But professionally, as you guys know, I'm the co founder of Uniquirk. It's a personal branding agency where we help multi passionate founders, coaches, and consultants build their personal brand online to attract media features, dream clients, business opportunities, and build authority in their space. But like Ola mentioned, I kind of have a very different background. So I have done bachelor's in chemistry and master's in analytical chemistry. And honestly, I was always an academically bright student. I did get straight A's all my life, and from the outside, it looked like I had it all figured out. But the truth is, I didn't. I didn't know what to do. So honestly, I didn't even know what I was passionate about. I knew I had the potential, I just didn't know where to channel it. So I did what any ambition person would do. I tried everything else to see what would stick. So to tell you a little bit of story, I did the law entrance exam and landed in the top 1%. I could have gotten into one of the top law colleges in my country effortlessly, but last moment I backed out. I don't know, being a lawyer didn't just excite me. I also aced the teacher eligibility exam. That path was easy and respectable. I gave MBA entrance exams and cracked those too. So I did, like, on paper, I had a lot of doors open. I had options. People would have to work hard to earn, and yet none of them really felt right to me. And I kept waiting for one of these options to feel like they are me, but they weren't. And deep down, I think I always knew what I really wanted. I just didn't give myself the permission to fully choose it at the time. How I landed doing what I do is I loved writing. I have loved writing since I was a kid. So I used to write fiction on Wattpad. I ran a writers club back when I was in high school, and I built mini communities online. It was my happy place. But for me, it was just a hobby. And I think it was around 2020 or 2021 when I was seriously confused. I had too many options, but I didn't know where to choose. I just did this random digital marketing internship, and I discovered there's something called as content writing and copywriting exists out there, and it's a fantastic career option for people who are passionate about writing. So that was the moment I realized writing didn't have to be something I just do for the pastime or as a hobby. And from there, I went all in. I learned copywriting, branding, marketing, storytelling, did a lot of geeks, and never looked back. So, yes, looking back, each step taught me something little by little, and it brought me here, where I am today. So, yes, professionally, that's me professionally, but beyond the work stuff, because Ola told me to tell my personal side too, I am a creator at heart. I am a curious person. I love stories, I love people, I love learning and exploring different cultures. I recently came back from a long trip across 10 countries, and it just reminded me how much I crave depth, connection, culture, and just new experiences. So, yeah, that's me, a writer, a traveler, and founder, and a work in progress.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm wondering these decisions that were made in regards to law or analytical chemistry, like whose decisions were they? Was it a path followed by you, but it was someone else's path, or it was just you experimenting with the different options? Like, what was it? Because I know a lot of people actually follow the path of their society or their parents, become a lawyer or a doctor, one of these points.
So that's pretty true, honestly. For me, I have like always been a creative person, and I love that side of me. But I think, of course, it was family influence as well. So like I was a very straight A student, right? So I used to top in my school, and that's what my family thought, that you should, art and creativity is something, of course it's good, but you should use your IQ for something much more valuable to the society. It will be going to waste if you just abandon everything and just write. So that was something that was conditional or influenced, like, okay, if you're smart, you need to do some engineering, or you should become a doctor or something. So i I didn't know there was a path like this I could explore, and so that was one thing I think that influenced me to choose or find myself or find what I am passionate about, while completely hiding what I really am passionate about. So I was hiding it, and I'm looking for it everywhere else. I think that was the reason. Honestly, I did like chemistry. I did my masters in it, right? I enjoyed it, but I didn't like the prospect of even doing it for the rest of my life. Didn't intrigue or fascinate me, right? So studying is a one thing, but doing it all life is another. And for
Yeah.
me, but every time I would think, there were two options. I would be at lab testing or in industry working, or I would be someone like a researcher or a scientist, right? And both of them as a kid would have intrigued me much, but as I grew up and I started understanding myself and what my strengths are, what my passions are, it just became a bit disconnected. Like the path I had created for myself started feeling disconnected to what I was becoming. That's when you start realizing this is good, but I feel like there is more to me that can offer, right? And that was the reason when I wanted to figure out what is it that I can do, that I am passionate about, and the world would celebrate or even appreciate. And that's when the figuring out stage started, where I gave law exam, where I did MBA, all kinds of exams, and I was overwhelmed. I I knew I wanted to do something. Like my parents would say, like, you had lots of potential, Sherry. Everyone, the relatives would come and say that you're a bright kid, but I don't know where the brightness should go. So that was the phase of figuring out. It was, I think, 3 or 4 years back, but I made a decision to stick with analytical chemistry, which was something I was doing. I did my master's in it, and while doing it, I would explore other options. So that would give me enough time, like 2 years of master's degree, and I would do, like, of course, that time I had already done internship, so I had few geeks and people were reaching out to me to help them with their writing and branding. So I had an edge there. So I thought, let's explore, let's learn, stick where you are, but at the same time explore what else you could do or what else you could offer. And while doing my masters, that's when I connected with some Riddhi, and we started working on a couple of projects together, and Uniquirk happened. Looking back, I think that one decision was great because a lot of people in my family or my friends, they said go for law because with the score I had, I could easily get into the top law school. And as a lawyer, the career is amazing, and respectable. So everybody was like, you should lean towards law. And my heart didn't say I should, even though I knew it would be great. But I made a decision to stick to what I'm doing right now and explore. And I didn't know I was making a mistake. My parents were a bit doubtful or skeptical, like, what are you doing? Why are you have a great career, why are you I didn't know what to do. I just felt like this is the right thing to do and I do not want to do that, and I chose this. And I feel like I would thank myself every single day for making that decision back then. And because of that, I am here today, right? So yes, that, I think, family, people, the society did influence me to make those decisions. But when I accepted myself and gave myself permission to actually accept myself and my passions, that's when things became clearer and I became more confident. And people saw that, and the world saw that, and I just became more myself.
Sometimes all it takes is just one firm decision, right? I'm wondering, when you decided to go into a completely different path, what was the reaction of those people around you, your friends, your parents? How did they take it?
So I have one friend who is right now in Italy, and after masters I was supposed to do my PhD and be a researcher or be a scientist or some. I wanted to be a scientist when I was a kid, a researcher. And we both kind of had a similar, I would say, goal. She is right now in Italy. She is a researcher. I would be
Mm-hmm.
somewhere in some part of the world working on maybe nanotechnology or some topic of chemistry. But of course, that surprised people. Like, what is she doing right now? Like, she's exploring herself, and my family especially, they were a bit worried about me, to be honest. They felt, and they said it, I wouldn't say it directly, but somehow, like, you have a lot of potential, but you are maybe taking a wrong decision by
Mm-hmm.
by doing this right now. So they weren't confident that this is something, because this is an unconventional path for them. For me,
Absolutely.
all of them, like, my sister is an engineer, my second sister is a lawyer, so my father wanted me to be a doctor. So sister, engineer, lawyer, doctor.
Engineer, yeah, 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 the all set of professions.
Yes,
I feel you.
but yes, I chose to be an entrepreneur. So that was, for them, they felt like as an entrepreneur, of course, you have your ups and downs, there is no certainty, there is no security, right? So that is the career which would give you a little stress because you don't know what the path is like. There is no syllabus. There is a there's no straight path. Entrepreneurship
Yeah.
is never straight. It's not linear. There are ups and downs. There are highs and lows. And the highs are very high, lows are very low. So you can't
Mm-hmm.
really expect what the next curve ball would be. And that's why they were a bit worried because my sisters, they had a very secure background and they had good, like, success, and they just wanted, of course, like, looking from their lens, they wanted me to be secure and happy. But
Yeah.
that felt like suffocating to me because I felt that I had more potential and I just need to. Entrepreneurship is one, I think, career, or it just, how do I say it? It just pushes you. It's just, you exceed your own potential. You get to see who you truly are. And I can say that I have learned more in this past 1 or 2 years than I have in my whole life. So the kind of exposure I have gotten, the kind of learnings and the lessons that I've learned, it just made me more comfortable, confident, and also my self belief has gotten very strong. So earlier,
Mm-hmm.
although I had great marks on paper, I was doing really well, I just didn't feel that confidence, you know, like people would say that, oh my god, I want to be like her, she's doing great. But when I looked at myself, I felt like I don't know if I want to be myself. But right now I'm in such a place that I feel that, how do I say it? Like the belief I have in myself has grown stronger. So
Mm-hmm.
my being has made me more confident, and
Mm.
that is something that I wouldn't want to trade with, you know, a doctor's degree or another degree. So wherever I am, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, I feel I'm heading somewhere with a bigger purpose. And I
Yeah.
don't honestly don't know what the purpose is, to be honest, but I know, like, as life happened, it led me here. There is a bigger purpose, and it's slowly training me to take me there.
Mm. Oh my God, I can relate to so many things that you've just mentioned, being an entrepreneur and learning so many things
Yes.
and understanding yourself better and being kind of like this jack of all trades, figuring out the marketing, the finance, the connections, the sales, and doing it all together. It really, really expands the understanding of yourself and business in general. And also, in regards to happiness, what you've mentioned, on my own path, I realized like literally happiness is very, very different for each and every person. Like, for example, for my parents, my mom's happiness is having a family and kids. Without that, there is no happiness. For my dad, is a safe career path. And
Yes.
without that, there is no happiness. And here I am going not there and not there, and they're like, oh my god, our poor child is unhappy, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, oh my god, I feel so happy, I feel so blessed for the experience that I have right now, because my definition of happiness is taking action um in alignment with my values and my purpose. And that is happiness to me. Do like freedom is happiness to me. Waking up, and we were just before the conversation, before I clicked go live, saying like these slow mornings, this is happiness for me. So what is happiness to you?
For me, so something I was talking to Samriti recently about, that my happiness is writing. I love writing, and I am naturally a very creative person. I have lots of stories, great imagination, so I like to write it down. And I am working. So when I was in high school, I was working on this book, but I stopped it because then I was too much involved, and it was distracting me from studying. And I thought that, you know what, I should just put a pause break on this and just work on my studies and make sure my grades are great. So I paused that, and I kind of, I would say, shut that side of me and focused on career all my life. And I recently opened up that project again, and I started writing. So looking at it as a, little Sherry writing her stories, her novel, and looking at it as this grown-up professional writer, and rewriting those things and tweaking it. It genuinely made me happy and feel like a little girl again, and that was happiness. I generally felt so happy and excited to just go through it and rewrite it and kind of enhance the plot, add more nuances to it. So the activity, writing, it really makes me happy. And all I think about is how it will impact, or how the readers will react to it. So even the imagination of that excites me, and I write a lot. But in general about life, I feel uh, feeling free and not stressed all the time, being at peace with where you are, having slow mornings like you said, and being able to have that privilege to just, do whatever you want at any time, right? Like, if you want to travel, you could just travel. That is happiness, that is peace, and a life with less chaos. But as an entrepreneur, it contradicts, because your life is going to be chaotic, but it's important to have that balance. So I like that balance, I like that peace. As an entrepreneur, of course, you do a lot of things, and as a person, creative person, I'm kind of multifaceted as well. So I love writing, I love entrepreneurship, I love exploring, I love traveling, I love reading about history, geopolitics. So I have lots of sides that are, I felt that I shut because I should focus on one thing. But all these things just make me who I am. They are sharing, right? Learning about history or ancient civilization, that's sharing. Learning about geopolitics or just writing, that's sharing too. And working on a business and talking about LinkedIn algorithm, that's sharing too. And all of this are me. So accepting and embracing them, I think that's happiness. That and doing that without berating myself all the time, that I'm not focusing on one aspect, or my career. I think that is important, and that is, if I do that well and when I do it, I feel happy. So, and most of my life I have shut myself just to focus on one single thing. But I feel that as I grow older and wiser, I know there are a lot of things like that makes me who I am, and I should not, just shut them or hide them to be or focus at one thing. It's all about balancing them. It's all about having that peace and feeling good doing what you are doing. So yes, that is happiness. And traveling and exploring cultures, I love that. I've been doing that since I was a kid. I used to watch TV shows and movies of different countries and different languages. I to learn about how things work in their country, how the culture is, what are the good traditions they have. I used to feel very curious about it, and I recently went to 11 countries, and going there and interacting with people and just having or witnessing different culture, a different experience, that also made me more, I think, happy. And it was refreshing, it was exciting, and I think when I'm doing those things, I feel more of creative self that I am, and not an entrepreneur Sherry, but just a creative Sherry. Those facing that side of me is happiness to me.
Yeah, traveling can expand one's mind so much. Like, really, how long did it take for you to travel to so many countries? Like, how long were you away for?
Well, country hopping. I was country hopping. So one day I would be in Paris, or the next day I would be in London or Belgium. So I was literally country hopping. But we are planning to go again, this time a bit slow. So me and my co-founder, we are planning. So for me, this was a bit fast paced because I had a few meetings lined up, so I had to make it worth the time, but also kind of rush it a bit so I come back on time, and we had few projects to work on. But I really
Hmm.
crave that slow traveling as well, like maybe just 1 2 months in one country, and just just living there and experiencing things and living like a local. So that is something I would like to do. But this was more of a few days in one country, and then let's hop on different country, and then that's so yeah, it was good. It was nice, and I already want to go back.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yes.
Well, coming back to the topic of purpose, like, what is your purpose?
Honestly, uh, this is. I honestly don't know. I'm still figuring out what my purpose is, because
Mm-hmm.
I think a part of me feels like I have a bigger purpose, something meaningful, something that's mine. But I'm not fully sure I've landed on it yet. So I've learned to be okay with that. Right now, my
Yeah.
purpose feels like a mix of things I deeply care about. So helping people express who they are.
Mm-hmm.
I want to create an emotional, a community where people are themselves. I want building something that empowers others. And I mean, Unique Work is helping that with that purpose, right? Helping founders and all. But I also want to again build a community of people, and empower them, inspire them. And third is of course writing stories that make people feel seen, and
Mm-hmm.
creating a life that's full of honesty, sincerity, growth, and exploration. So I do have goals, of course, like big ones. I want Unique Work to grow. I want to reach more people with my writing, or maybe through content. I want to publish books. I want to build a community. And above all, I want to live a life that feels full and true. So I think this is what I want to do. about building a community and having a space that is safe for everyone and empowering people, and just talking about self-development or self-help, something that is really that could positively influence people. That is something that really excites me. So that is something I do want to do. But when it comes to purpose, I think I am in that phase where I'm living, learning, falling and evolving, and
Mm-hmm.
slowly becoming the version of me who is ready to understand what the bigger purpose really is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well, I
from
feel
that.
like with what you've mentioned, your purpose is already quite big, like contributing to the society, creating a community, helping people. It's, at least in my model of the world, in my perspective and perception, it is big. It is already something that, yeah, can help so many people. And this is beautiful.
Yes.
So, in regards to your book, I feel like you've written a post about it, right? You mentioned that you're nice, nice.
So that's the
At what
thing.
stage is it now?
It is in the stage, I would say in the early stage, because I had written it back when I was in high school. Right now, when I'm redoing it, I feel a lot of things that I could just cut out, and I'm rewriting mostly from the start. So I get very excited because when I write something, I do want to share with the people, because I already have this community who is into writing, who loves reading, and who love seeing that side of me, because usually I just talk about LinkedIn, right? But just once in a while I share my stories and people are excited to see
I
there
love
is
them.
there's a different side of Sherry. And I feel very tempted to just drop chapters right away, but I know I have to be patient. I have to sit through the entire process, complete it, and then wait to publish. And that story, the one that I shared, so it was kind of a teaser for the world to know that I'm cooking something, I'm working on something. And some people, they reached out to me, they're like, I need to read this, where do I pre-order this?
Yes, I am
And
also
that,
excited. I'm also excited to have this book and read it.
yes, so I that kind of gives me motivation to really work on it,
Hmm.
because you're an entrepreneur too. It's really difficult to manage time when you're
That's my next question. How are you managing your time? Writing a book, working, traveling, having the unique work.
exactly. It is very difficult to manage time, and sometimes the priority becomes unique work, right? Because your clients are waiting, you have team to handle, you have to be more responsible. So most of the time, my hobbies or my passions suffer as a result of that. Traveling is something I felt I earned it because I had worked very hard for like straight 7, 8, or even a year. I didn't go out anywhere, and I was just put my head down and I was working, building, helping clients, and I felt like I earned a vacation, a long one. So that felt great. And when I came back and I picked my book again, I I started writing, and I still don't get much time. I try to save like maybe an half an hour or 1 hour, but there are sometimes when the same time I have my block, writing time, the same time sometimes a client schedules a meeting. So it you can't do it that time.
Priorities go to the
Exactly. So
client.
priorities shift.
Mm.
Or sometimes when I am writing or working on something, a team member is struggling, or maybe he is having some issues, so he maybe calls or text, and you have to attend that call and you have to help that person out. So it's been a struggle, but I feel right now, I even told Samriti, like, we are working for unhealthy hours and we need to have certain balance. And
Yeah.
one thing I think it's great, but it's also a disadvantage of having a global agency is that the time zones, right? So for some clients, the mornings for them is evenings for you. For some afternoons, it's the mornings for you. So you have to find a time that works both for them, and it's convenient for them but also convenient for you. But sometimes it's not really always convenient, right? Because for them, if it's morning, you have to sit at 10 p.m. maybe, just to talk about strategy sessions, and most of the time your head is not really as efficient at night, but still you have to just push through it to be there. So I think that is also a disadvantage of that, because you don't really have a set time for yourself. you can try to squeeze in your personal activities in between, but that's how it is. I mean, sometimes you have to set some time for the clients and for the meetings and for the priorities. And one thing that I feel right now I'm trying for myself is having a morning routine. Like, this is the time where I know no one's gonna come or bother me. So before I give time to the whole world, I'm gonna give time to myself, because it's
Yeah.
important to kind of set the tone for the day. So I wake up early in the morning, I head to my yoga class, and I just 1 hour. Every time I do it, I feel like I'm doing something for myself, and I love it. I come back, I play music, I maybe take a shower, I prepare breakfast for myself, or go for grocery shopping. I and while having breakfast, I would read something, and that is the time where I feel it's more sacred time of my day,
Mm.
and it's something that I look forward to every single day. And once I feel great and myself, that's when I give time to the world. So sometimes I've been thinking to maybe wake up super early in the morning and start writing, but then I don't really want to sacrifice my sleep as well. So I'll have to find a time where
Yeah, the 5 a.m. club is also not my story.
I I used to be an early bird, but I think because of the late night calls, or sometimes I wake up at around 6 or 5:55 a.m. now. I can try waking up at 4 a.m., but it's going to be a struggle for a
Wow.
few days. So
So,
I
for example, if in the morning a client wants to meet, like in the here and now, the Sherry today, will she prioritize the client or you have your morning like block?
thankfully, like I did, in fact. So the first, usually I log in at work around 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., but I never have meetings around that time. It's always after 11 a.m. But just yesterday, I had client meeting at 9:30 a.m., which was early for me because then I had to rush other things to attend that meeting. But the client was also staying up late to attend that meeting, so of course both of us had to compromise, and it happens rarely, though not very often, but sometimes I do kind of, I would say, compromise, but most of the days mornings are just for me, and I would like it that way.
Yes, I agree. I mean, we need that me time, right? And what I also see while when I talk to entrepreneurs is that a lot of people go through burnout, like during entrepreneurship. And usually we think that burnout is all about office jobs and, corporate jobs. But then there's also other types of burnout that not a lot of people talk about. And one is getting burned out during an entrepreneurial journey. Like, have you faced burnout on your path?
Oh, yes. So for me, I don't know, I have this sense where I get hints of, I'm leading somewhere, like I'm leading to a burnout. So first thing that happens is, because my brain has to be efficient. The kind of line of work I am in, I do a lot of consultation calls or strategy sessions, that I have to be at my best self. Like, my brain has to be at its best to tell people, like, because they come with a lot of problems. There are sessions, 2 hours long sessions, where just client sits down,
Wow.
asks me
Hmm.
loads of questions like, Shari, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do this, and I have to be like, okay, let's map it out, and let's see how we can help you out and get more business. So these are the sessions where I know my brain has to be at its fullest capacity or its highest potential, and when it's not, or when I feel like I'm not being my articulate self, or I'm eating my words, or I know that my brain is fatigued right now, and I'm at my uh, what do you call, limit. I'm reaching that
Hmm.
limit. So that is the time when I know I could be nearing the burnout. So I take a break, small break, and that's how I kind of refresh myself. And for me, when I something like that happens, I like to sit and not do anything like work related tasks. I just want to, I need a pattern interrupter, basically. Right? So you want to interrupt your pattern and do something different to recharge your brain, or to feel good, or feel yourself. And the one thing I love to do is watching. Because it allows you to escape and just enter into someone else's life as well. So watching something, maybe a rom-com, or
Hmm.
I love
What's your
that.
favorite rom-com?
Oh, Oh my god, I love this question. I have way too many. Oh my god, but I love. Uh, do you know How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days?
Yes, I love
Like
it.
this.
Yeah.
So a lot of
Yes.
Heigl movies, I love them. Proposal is a great one.
Mm,
Confessions of a Shopaholic. So I have few Legally Blonde. I have few like
yeah, I'm in a rom-com phase too now, so that's why I'm curious.
I love it. I recently just randomly started watching this Pride and Prejudice is my all-time favorite, but I recently
Mm,
started Devil Wears Prada again, and it's not really a rom-com, but it's a girly movie, right? So it's something that you just pause and watch it to feel comfortable and feel warm. So I like
yeah,
those
these
kind of
cozy
movies.
movies.
Yes, cozy movies. They kind of make me feel warm and comfortable inside, and it gives my brain a moment to relax and just not
Mm-hmm.
use or be at use all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
I think watching movies, going out for a walk, for me that's a therapy. I mean, just taking a walk in the nature or even just outside and listening to music or just being by yourself. I think that really helps me relax, unwind, and it also helps me with my creative mind because think of new ideas or to get fresh perspectives, your brain has to feel be empty, like it has to have that vacancy for new ideas to accommodate. If
Yes.
your head
Mm-hmm.
is always full of thinking and what's happening next or what next strategy are we doing, it won't get that space to think of
Mm-hmm.
new ideas. So walking or watching or just spending time with your friends or just talking to your friend on call, all this, they create that space and makes you forget like the work aspect of it and enjoy yourself, and that also
Mm-hmm.
goes back to your own self. And once you are fresh and activated and recharged, that's when you are even more excited to get back to it because now you have fresher ideas, you
Mm-hmm.
have perspectives to share. So that really helps me. I haven't like thankfully I haven't approached a very bad burnout like in the past 1 year because I feel I'm getting good at regulating them or finding or understanding the signals when they come and
Mm-hmm. Catching them at the right time.
right, and working on them quickly so they don't affect me emotionally, mentally, and even physically. And
Yeah.
yoga every single day in the morning, I think that has also helped me. Like it brings that calmness in the body first thing in the morning.
Mm,
A lot of good habits as well. I think. I mean, yoga is a good. I like I said, I do journaling. I started journaling recently, and I thought I would hate it, but honestly, I'm enjoying it. It's great to see when you put it out there in the notes app, and when you see it as a third person, you get better at understanding your emotions, and seeing them as a third person objectively, and then understand your emotions and why they are coming and how they're emerging, and then regulate them. That's good because when you're thinking of it from a very personal lens, right, or internal lens, you tend to overthink stuff, you overanalyze it. But when you remove yourself out of the equation and you look at it, okay, this is the problem, and what could be the solution at this point, you look at it from a very objective lens, right?
mm-hmm.
That's when you clearly see this is the answer, and overthinking it or over analyzing it is not going to help you. So do this right now and you get the clear answer, and because you are the one giving the answer to yourself, you listen to it. Because most of the time when someone else tells you, you won't listen because you would say that, oh, you don't understand what I'm going through.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, journaling is like a brain dumping
Yes.
all that mess in my head. And as you said, it really helps to structure things and to get answers to the questions. I also loved what you mentioned around the topic of having that break, just having that break for yourself. And I love the analogy of yoga, right? During when we do asanas, it's a lot of doing, a lot of work, a lot of doing. But then where the magic happens is during Shavasana, where you just lay down
Yes, it's my
when you
favorite.
integrate where you feel the energy flowing. And this is where that's a moment of full presence. And that's the moment when a lot of times the creative flow enters, creative ideas enter. And I feel like a lot of people focus on those asanas, on doing, but then completely forget about the shavasana, which is a very, very essential and important part of our life.
I love it. It is my favorite part, and I told my tutor like we should have it every single day because maybe just for 5-10 minutes, but it is the most relaxing part of yoga, and you feel more connected to your body, right? Like of course the asanas and all the other yoga poses that we do, of course it connects you, but the way you emotionally, spiritually, and physically connect with yourself, I think that's the shavasana part. And I love it. It's my most favorite one. I enjoy
Yeah,
that one. And it's
yeah,
great to also release all the emotions that you have, right? Like you see those just evaporating and you feel fresh inside. So I think you feel those golden energy just entering your body, and you feel that. So I love that one. It's my favorite.
yeah, yeah, same
How
here.
long have you been doing yoga?
Well, I've been on and off for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years. But then I started being more consistent since January. So it's been like consistently for what, 6, 7 months. And yeah, I'm very, very proud of myself because usually, I go in, I drop off, I go in, I drop off. But this time it stuck.
So what time do you go to? Is it morning yoga or evening for you?
Mine is very late. It's at 8:30 p.m.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's like 1 hour and a half, and I get back home by like 10:30. But it's
oh.
then I have a very nice night, very nice sleep.
And
Yeah,
that's a good night routine for you, right? So once you're done with your all responsibilities, you just unwind and give the time to yourself. So that's a
exactly.
great way of signing off from the day and just giving yourself the time, sleeping
Exactly.
with yourself, like sleeping with that intention and that clarity in your mind, because you don't want to go to bed with all those thoughts of work and what to do tomorrow or what next task is. You want to go with calmness and peace. So I think even yoga
Absolutely.
is great as well.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, I've also spoken to a lot of entrepreneurs, and they're like, a lot of things, a lot of them mention that yoga is something that helps them realign, that helps them get back to themselves, and also with the creative ideas. And
Yeah,
it's
it's
a beautiful tool.
emotionally, yeah, it's emotionally, I think, yeah, that's one thing. I think yoga is more emotional than physical. Like it of course helps you stay toned and all, but the emotional alignment you have after doing it, it has more benefits emotionally and spiritually, I feel.
It's so much more than just a physical practice.
Right.
100%.
Exactly.
100%.
So ever since, so I do go to gym as well and I do yoga as well. But for me, I don't do it to with an intention to maybe stay fit or to maintain my body. For me, it's like getting that emotional clarity and being emotionally aligned with myself. That
Hmm.
is the yoga for me. So I think it also helps me in the morning because when you wake up, you just want to kind of calibrate yourself, right? And doing that first thing in the morning just helps you be grounded, be yourself.
Good start of the day.
Yes, and feel more clear for the rest of the day.
Hmm. So, in regards to your purpose, what do you think helped you align yourself with your purpose?
Okay, I'll have to do a lot of
Any
things.
tools, maybe, or any more specific moment that that helped you, yeah, pivot kind of like from the idea of doing law, chemistry to writing.
For writing, I feel it was a great way for me to connect with people. So you put your thought out there, and there's someone out there who could connect to it and relate to it. And that was one way I felt great, like indirectly connecting to people, right? So it was a channel for me to connect to people, and like I mentioned, I created a writers club back in when I was in college or when I was in high school. So I met people from different parts of the country, and as a teenager doing that, you talk with them, you also get to learn their cultures. So that was one way of building that community. So I built community even before it was a thing. It wasn't
Mm,
earning money or anything. It was just for pure fun to connect with people, to find your tribe basically. And that's when I feel the passion for community building started or grew. So writing was the one that led to community building, and when I saw a lot of people from different backgrounds and different countries and cultures, I just started seeing like there's more goodness in the world, and there are a lot of amazing people. And some of them, all of them, like I've met so many people, and all of them have beautiful stories, and all of them want to work on themselves, and all of them have vulnerabilities that they share. And most of them this just opened up to me. We just connected or we clicked, and a lot of people shared that it's easy to connect to, it's easy to open up to you, and I felt you know good feeling, making people feel comfortable around me. And that's when I felt like, what, this is something maybe I really want to do, because I genuinely enjoy talking to people, learning about them, and somehow helping them or comforting them. And I've always been or I would say fascinated with productivity, self-help, self-growth. I used to read a lot of books around these when I was in college or when I was in high school. So this is something that I'm deeply passionate about, self-growth and self-help. So this was one key or area I feel that I could talk more about and attract people from different parts of the world, and build that thriving community where people are excited to grow, to work on themselves, to improve, and also be safe, feel safe enough to share their vulnerabilities, right? To be themselves, to be their authentic self. And I most of the time I do it on LinkedIn as well. I open up myself so people feel comfortable opening themselves up too. So this is where I think LinkedIn also helped me, because when I started out, I used to post stories on LinkedIn, short stories, and people loved that. But then, of course, slowly as
were
I
the
was
stories
working
about
there,
your life or just,
it was the short stories. It was all fiction. It was
fiction?
maybe I
Hmm.
might have shared like personal stories as well. This was like 2 3 years ago, so I might have shared personal stories. I have shared a lot of fictional stories as well, and that's how I started on LinkedIn as well. But now we are doing totally something more intentional, more directional. But I think that self development, that embracing yourself, and to kind of motivate and influence people is it's something that really excites me, because there is a lot of hate in this world, right? It's easy to hate anyone online, but it takes a lot of strength to build something people would be proud of or love. And that is a space I want to create. Hopefully I am getting there. We have long way ahead, but slowly and steadily I think I'll reach where I'll be closer to my purpose.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And what are the biggest challenges you faced along the way towards your purpose?
So, like I mentioned, for me, finding my purpose, like even accepting my purpose, was a big challenge for me,
Mm-hmm.
because the thing that I'm doing right now, it's taking me closer to what my purpose is. To build a community, to inspire people, to influence, to see as someone who is not really perfect. I have vulnerabilities, I have my flaws, but I'm self-aware. I work on them, and that is something that I'm building right now. I want people to be comfortable and be open to, yeah, like maybe self-reflecting and seeing their flaws and working on them. But back then I was not even open to seeing myself. Like, there were a lot of things that I was passionate about. Like I mentioned, I would always find myself watching MasterChef Australia for random, or maybe some other country, or let's say some American show or some Canadian show. I've watched Filipino, Chinese. Like I was always curious about cultures. I enjoyed writing, but I never really gave myself permission to actually pursue these things, right, professionally. And I berated myself for doing that, and I I always had this, I have this one linear path, like how secure path that I have to do, and not accepting that side of me and disregarding it completely and just walking on the path that the society thought is right for me was the biggest challenge. Learning that like it's okay to have an unconventional path of career, that was the biggest challenge, because then it's not just you, you're also uh, kind of shaping the minds of the people around you. Could be start with your family or your friends, because a lot of people would be surprised, they're going to raise their brows like, what are you doing? But I think being confident in yourself at that time and saying that, you know, whatever I'm doing, I feel confident about this, even without knowing that you don't know where it will lead you. I mean, it's uncertain, but you still have to be confident for people to feel confident in you. That
Mm-hmm.
was a bigger challenge. Like, I think the first few years when I was building, my family wasn't confident in me. They felt like this could be potentially a mistake. I mean, she'll come back to her old path and maybe she'll go to 9 to 5 or something. So even that time, there were times where I felt like, okay, things are not really working out the way I had planned, but I had to have the strength and courage to still, you know, go past it and go through it, because I didn't want to go back to the old path that I had or that family or society had for me, because it would be like giving up and being or holding yourself even when you are maybe at your lowest or even when things are not working out. That was a challenge. But I think looking back in the hindsight, it, of course, that path that time was made me a bit vulnerable, made me a bit clueless, but that made me more more confident, right? Because when you are with yourself at your lowest, or when things are not really turning out the way you want, but you are there and you have confidence in yourself and you make it happen somehow, it makes you proud, of course, but it makes you also confident and believe in yourself much more, and you then start taking more risks. So of course that small risk led to another. There are gonna be, you're gonna fall down, you're gonna, if you, there's a saying that to win at something you have to fail at 100 things.
Oh,
Like
yeah. Mm-hmm.
100 things could be, of course, like if you want to be a doctor, you'll fail at becoming an engineer, you'll fail at becoming maybe an artist, or you know, maybe just a singer, like 100 things. But to be something you have to really fail internal battles as well. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to acknowledge and accept the failures and still do it because you really want to do it. uh, that was kind of challenging, but I think that just builds your character.
Mm-hmm. It sure does. Apart from that, because this was a really, really good tip for those who are in search of their purpose, what other tips can you give to those people who are right now on that path of finding themselves and finding their true calling?
What would I tell? So, firstly, start with where you are. You don't need a grand plan. Honestly, just start with what excites you or makes you curious, and just stop waiting for permissions. If something keeps pulling at you, don't ignore it. You should give yourself permission to explore it. Let it be messy. You don't need to get it perfect. You just need to keep moving. And I would say that try things, you know, sometimes, and new things. Sometimes clarity comes from action, not overthinking. So one thing that helps me is writing things down. You know, you should write things down, even if it's just for yourself. Maybe if you want, you can just crumple it and throw it away, but write it down, because writing is one of the best tools to get it out, to get to know who you are. And sometimes, you know, you might not understand yourself, so be okay with not knowing as well. Sometimes not having the answers exactly is where you need to be, because even right now, when people say that you have done a lot of things, I say that I don't really know what my purpose is, but I know where I'm going, right? So you need to be, it's okay to not find all the answers, but just do that what excites you, be open, be flexible, and follow your heart. I know it sounds a bit corny, but I think I punished myself for more than 10 years by not following my heart. So right now, if my heart or my intuitions, I know they're very strong, and if my intuitions say that this is not something I'm enjoying or something that feels off, I won't do it. 99.99% of times I would listen to my intuitions. So it's important, and I think finding the people who connect with you. Like for me, Samriti and I, we are very spiritually aligned. I feel as well. Like most of the time, we have the same intuitions about, let's say, onboarding someone or a team member or this project, and also we know like what is right and what could be a danger or a problem for us. So I think finding people uh, that are like you and surrounding yourself with others who are in also the same stuff as you or also in it for the real stuff, that's where you'll actually grow. And don't really think about purpose that much. I think purpose finds you when the timing is right. And until then, you have to find yourself. I think chasing purpose will make you feel clueless, but finding or embracing yourself will draw you closer to what your purpose is.
I love this, right? Because it's difficult to find purpose if you have no clue who you are, right? If you don't know what are your values, what do you stand for, your strength, your weaknesses.
Exactly.
So,
Heart already knows. It just takes time for you to learn what
yeah.
what your heart knows. Because we, like our souls, we have there are certain principles that we follow. There are certain things that are deal breaker for us. Certain maybe some values, right? Like some things that are deal breaker. Something like I would never do this or never do that. Like there are a lot of things that we do without knowing why we do it, because
Mm-hmm.
it's our heart. And if you start to understand yourself and accept yourself, like why did I react that way, why did it trigger me, and you understanding your heart yourself, I think you become more aware, and then
Mm-hmm.
you reflect and see where it is sourcing from, and
Mm-hmm.
start understanding yourself as a person as well, like what triggers you, what excites you, what makes you sob, or what makes you laugh, right? Who makes you laugh. So all those things, I think they influence you, and what motivates you and what inspires you, that draws you closer to your purpose. Because forcing yourself to be inspired by certain person or be excited about certain job is not going to draw you closer to your purpose, right? So don't don't I would say discard it, don't ignore it, just give yourself permission to listen to it.
Yeah. Listening to yourself is so important because I feel like a lot of people, a lot of us, we hear that voice,
Yeah.
but we don't listen,
Yes.
right? And this is the tricky part to not only hearing, but listening and like, okay, this is maybe it might feel uncomfortable right now, but let me go there. Let me get out of my comfort zone and see what it brings me. And usually when you follow that voice, it brings beautiful learnings. Even though, yes, the feeling could be uncomfortable in the beginning, but then it brings something much bigger and much purposeful afterwards. So we'll be moving to the second part of the live. We're not really strangers cards. It has three levels. We'll start with level one. Let's see what we have for you today. Um, are you usually early, on time, or late to events? Explain.
I think earlier I used to be late, but now I am early on time. I think as I have become an entrepreneur, founder, I have started to respect my time more, and I
Mm-hmm.
think with that you also respect other people's time. Back when I was just myself, I wouldn't really think about all these things, but now it matters to me to be on time, be punctual. So I usually am. I think it's what entrepreneurship did to me. It made me very punctual. I am usually on time at the events. Yes.
Level two. Hmm. I love this question. It's not the first time it comes up during these lives. How are you really?
Oh wow. I mean, is it about my feeling? How am I feeling really, or
Yeah,
what is?
how are you? How are you really? Because a lot of people, when you ask them, how are you? It's automatic, like, I'm fine, I'm okay. But like, how
Yes.
are you really?
I right now I think I am in a very calming stage, where I am, of course, nervous about few projects that I am working on and executing them. I am excited about the book that I am writing, but also a bit nervous because right now a lot of people I know are looking forward to it, so I have to meet their expectations. So there are kind of mixed emotions that I have, but at this point right now, I feel comfortable, calm, and myself.
Nice. Level three. What are you most qualified to give advice about?
Oh, I think choosing yourself, or I would say maybe I could say like professionally, of course, I could talk about LinkedIn, but I want to be make it personal. So personally, I'm someone who can give you advice on working on yourself, being better version of yourself, because I had to unlearn a lot of things and learn a lot of things, right? Uh, to be confident, to be myself, to accept myself, and I know there are a lot of people out there who may have some problems, flaws, and they don't know how to find themselves or how to be better or how to heal or how to evolve, and that is something I think I have done over time, and I could be a great friend to give you advice on.
I love it. And professionally?
Professionally, I think talking to clients. So of
Nice.
course I could help you with LinkedIn, personal branding, and all. But one thing that I believe I'm good at is, especially on, let's say if I'm going on a sales call or anyone, I make people feel at ease and open up. So that is something I am good at. And if you feel a bit nervous or if you don't feel yourself, maybe I could be someone who could help you with being yourself and also making people feel comfortable around you.
Yeah, that's a quality I feel like is makes it so much easier during entrepreneurship, and entrepreneurship is a lot about sales
Yeah.
and talking to people, and making others comfortable is a big, big, big plus. Well,
And you're doing a
beautiful.
great job at that.
Sorry?
You're doing a great job at that.
Thank you. Well, we'll be wrapping up. Sherry, thank you so much for this conversation. We're done with the questions, with the cards. It was such a beautiful conversation, really. I wish we could have had this call even earlier, right? Because this is the first time we are kind of like having this conversation beyond LinkedIn, I would say. And it was really, really insightful. Thank you for opening up. Thank you for sharing. Really, really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for
Um,
being comfortable. And I think I didn't feel like it was the first time talking. I felt like this is
Same.
maybe our seventh or eighth conversation. We already know so much about each other. So I felt that wavelength match. And yes, I hope people also enjoyed watching it. And
Yeah, yes. Where can people find you? What is the best way to contact you? Is it a DM or thank you so much for spreading so much love, so much joy on this call across LinkedIn. Thank you for this call and for this live, for your time. Thank you everyone for joining. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.